This is a reunion I've been waiting for.
Hi.
Hoda.
How are you?
I miss you.
I miss you, and I'm very proud of you.
Well, I'm very proud of you because you've done something that isn't easy.
Mm-hmm.
You've completely changed your life.
Mm-hmm.
You've left something you love,
Mm-hmm.
and you've created something you love, which is kind of wild. Like a year ago from now, you couldn't have even dreamed of what your life would look like.
No. Oh my gosh. First of all, the fact that you just said you left something you loved and created something you loved is so true. When you're in the middle of heartache, which is what I felt leaving you, and which is what I feel right now sitting here with you, it's coming again. You think that there's no light down the road, even though you know something's right. I have to say, I've finally kind of settled into life, and life now is smaller and also a little bit more beautiful to me. Everything's smaller. Like, my obligations are less, but more meaningful. Like today, my kids had their first day of school, and I was just sitting in the middle of it. And I thought to myself, I get to be here.
Yes.
So I think I'm learning. They're teaching me to slow down, like just because I've been sprinting.
Yes.
Like we are. We've been sprinting for years.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Yes.
And then suddenly you stop sprinting and you go, that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm only now settling into a rhythm. I think I'm only now settling.
And I think I like that you say that because, we've talked about, of course, you beat us to the punch, but leaving this job, which has all of its beauties, interesting people and a dynamic morning that's sort of beyond anything.
Yes.
You love music. There's concerts at 7:50, you know, and conversations.
Yes.
And you leave that and all of a sudden you're like, wait, what's what?
That's, by the way, that was the biggest adjustment. I didn't know that a lot of my heartfelt, real conversations were happening often because we were together.
Yes.
Like we were in a vulnerable place. You and I would sit in the makeup room and suddenly we'd unload our life. We'd get a good cry out and then the day felt balanced and you could go about your day.
Yeah.
And what I realized is now, I'm missing that piece.
Yeah.
And I have to find that piece on my own. And it doesn't just come to you in the morning. It doesn't just happen. You don't get a sparkly conversation or something interesting right away. You have to find it in books, in friends, in coffees, in all those things. So I've been trying to fill my cup that way. And if I'm totally honest, it's not simple.
No.
Because I liked it. I liked it when things just kind of came easy.
Yeah.
But I'm also finding I don't know, more kind of a depth that I can nurture. There's something about slowing down. And not in oh, poor thing. How sad. You saw what happened to her. Remember when she was on TV?
No, but also if we're honest, and I remember my dad had this conversation with me about leaving Washington and coming home, and he woke up and he's like, oh, I guess I'm going to get up and make the coffee.
Yeah.
What's next? Because when you have a really full career, it doesn't matter what your pivot is, and it doesn't really matter what your career is. You could be president, you could be a teacher, you could be a journalist. It doesn't matter. But when you have something that feels so full and so dynamic, and also, if we're really honest, there's a little ego there.
Yeah. There's a lot of, didn't you used to? Oh, you were on I remember you. You're from the show. I remember you. And I was thinking to myself, for 20 plus years, you have a label.
Yes.
And that's who you are.
Yes.
Pure and simple.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, 6 months, 8 months, a year later, life moves on, man.
Yeah.
And you realize you have to be totally and completely comfortable with who the hell you are.
Yes.
If you're not, if you're somebody who needs, and I remember the term reflected glory, I need to be near people who are important so I can feel that. If you need that, you should stay in whatever profession you're in. If you don't need it, which I don't, you all of a sudden realize, like, you start to see your own light. Like, you have to create all of the stuff around you. And I don't know, I found it like both scary and also, just, it's all the things.
Oh my God, I miss laughing with you.
By the way,
sometimes,
especially when it's totally inappropriate.
Hoda and I talk about, like, we would be reading the prompter and just break out into laughter. I mean, I have to tell you, I don't have those conversations really the way we did.
We did.
Because you were such a force in my life, I mean, and I also don't cry for a lot anymore. I feel like I'm closed off. So it isn't just you. I mean, change creates different patterns.
Well, you know what's funny is, this is what I've noticed. I've been able to have smaller conversations. So here's one. Yesterday, Hope was on the potty, and I'm reading Cinderella, which is totally normal, on her cat bed, which I don't even know why we have that. There's a cat bed. There's no cat. We just have a cat bed. She likes it.
Well, I can adopt a cat.
Okay.
For her, if she wants one.
So I'm reading to her about Cinderella. And I close the book and I look at her, and she's just looking at me with those big brown eyes. And I go, "Can I ask you something, honey?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I go, "What's it like to have diabetes?" And she looked at me and she goes, "Well, it hurts with the needles, and it hurts my feelings when I can't have things other kids have sometimes. And then I sometimes think, oh, well, that's my life. And then I think maybe it'll go away." And then she looks at me and she said, "What's it like for you?"
Oh my gosh.
I go, "For me?" She goes, "To have me." And I said, "Oh my God." I said, "Hope," I said, for me, I said, having you is a big statement from God saying, basically, I gave you the strongest one. I said, so I feel really, really lucky to have you. And she goes, "Okay, will you wipe me?" And I'm like, "Yes." But all I was thinking was, I sprint through life.
Yes.
And I miss it because I don't pause long enough to even sit for a minute and have a conversation without thinking about, gotta go, gotta text, gotta do, blah, blah. And I think that's what I was realizing, like, all these littler conversations are coming out.
Littler that are actually huge.
That are everything.
Like that was what you probably wrote down in your journal this morning.
Yes, that was it. And so I keep reminding myself, like, take it small, get all the conversations, know your kids, ask them.
Well, and part of the reason why you chose to leave is that you want that connection with them.
Yes.
You wanted to be able to walk them to school on the first day.
Yes.
You want to be around.
Yes.
And I wonder if, like, when there isn't so much noise, or you aren't fulfilled by a deep conversation at 7:50 or 8 o'clock in the morning, if maybe it's allowed you,
I think you're right,
to have more profound, a more profound connection.
Yes, because sometimes you feel like that part of your cup got filled somewhere else. And so when you come home, it's about tasks.
Yes.
It's about getting it done and getting the stuff and doing this. And not even to look at your kids as humans, but as, like problems that need to be solved or things that need to be done.
Did you do your homework?
Did you do? That's what I spent most of my time doing with them. And to realize that you can sit and have a real conversation with your child and to sit and soak that in. And I feel like it did make space in me. Because it's like anything, when you're crowded and you're carving out small spaces for your kids or for yourself even, tiny little pockets, like, they don't get enough. And like, I feel like my kids chose me and I chose them for sure. And, in choosing them, like, I just feel like I not that I owe them, that's not the word, but in choosing them, like, parent them.
Yeah.
Be with them.
Yeah.
Like, don't choose them and say, "Yay, I did that," and then off I'm going, you know?
Yeah.
but and I
really choose them.
Really choose them. I saw Haley reading my book, and there's probably a lot of stuff in there that she doesn't know. She's like, you had breast cancer? I'm like, oh my God.
You're like, wait, maybe we should wait.
Jeez. But the fact is, I think we're knowing each other as people, humans, not just mom or kid.
Authority figure
versus a child.
I love that. I mean, the other thing that's really convenient is as you've navigated this huge life shift, you've also started a company that focuses on joy. It feels a little selfish, but also amazing. And if any of your dear friends could have predicted that from a mile away.
Well, I think you know what it is. It's sort of like, I mean, and I give a lot of credit to you for how my life turned, because I think I probably would have stayed along this path if you and I hadn't gone deep in so many different ways.
And we both sort of were on that journey
together. And when you introduced me to somebody who was into breathworks, Christine, and I tried that, it was like I felt like all of a sudden a part of me was unlocked. Breathwork turned into something else, that turned into going to the Hoffman process, that turned into meditation, that turned into this whole
and
entire
maybe an openness.
Yes. Something I didn't have because I was so busy achieving, getting it right, blah, blah, blah. And I think I was searching for a place where I could find all that stuff that you and I had discussed and that I was kind of in love with. And I realized it wasn't anywhere. And I kept thinking, like, fear attracts fear. Joy attracts joy. If you're afraid of something, it's coming.
Yeah.
If you're scared of something, get ready.
Yeah.
Once you've spoken it, or once you believe that thing is coming, someone's going to break into your car, you're worried someone will break into your car. It'll happen. But joy attracts joy and love attracts love. So I'm like, you know what? And so the whole basis of my company is that. If I have someone on my team who says, ooh, but what if something goes wrong? I said, we are not living there.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, because it's not happening.
Yes.
That's because I want us to be in the business of joy. I mean, I feel like everyone feels tired and weighted down and the weight of the world and, trying to find pockets of joy. That's not it. Like, life is meant to be enjoyed. It's meant for it. And I feel like what we're doing with our company and with our retreats and all that stuff is just infusing that in people and maybe reminding them. I mean, it's sort of like, there's, we say, like, remember how it used to be.
Yeah.
It's like the word and then member. Like, bring it back together.
Yeah.
You remember what it was like when you were a kid.
Yes.
It's in you.
Yeah.
I think this is all kind of a way of unlocking it. And to me, Jen, if I'm going to choose something to do after the Today Show, if what you can do is give that away, spread that, then that's it. I'm done. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
And what have you found from people? I mean, you did an amazing retreat with teachers.
God, I love
You've
that.
gotten to talk with so many people, whether it's virtually or whatever. Like, what have you found from that part of it, that connection?
I feel like, first of all, there's a deep yearning and need. That's the first thing I noticed. It's almost like, I think we all feel like we're dried out sponges and we want someone to infuse it.
And connection,
and connect.
Right?
Because people want human beings to speak to. So at our teachers retreat, we did one for a bunch of teachers from Queens, and I wept the whole time I was there. Because watching these people who've done nothing but pour out their cup to their students, to their faculty members, to their families at home, to everybody. And then there was one day, like, that was their one day.
Yeah.
That's what they kept saying. Of all the days, this is mine, but it's one. And to watch what happened after 24 hours with these people, I realized that we can change people like one person at a time. And it reminded me that change is easy.
Yeah.
It's not so hard.
Yeah.
If you put the right people in the right room at the same time, it's like magic. It's like a magic show. I mean, I watched these teachers literally, like, walked in, hunched out over, came out, and they were like, my God, like, they were weeping during breath work, going, what happened there? And they felt transformed. I did a Zoom with them a week later because I missed them. We were all in this Zoom. And I was like, hi. They're like, oh, my God, I can't stop talking about it. Like, you could feel it. Like, you could feel that they're going to go and take it somewhere. And I just feel like I keep reminding myself, like, there's a Jody Messina song that says you get like one ride around the sun and that's it. And I was thinking, like, how am I going to spend it? What do I have to say here at the end? And also, like, anything that you carry, give it. Just like you, one of the things you've done since I've known you is, if you have something, you share it. That's it. I learned it. Here's the person. I've got this. And I feel like that kind of thing is changing people. And I feel like there's a desperate need. And we're going to fill
I
it.
know so many people that you...
Yeah.
And I'm like even hesitating saying this, but there was somebody who lost their house in a fire, and my dad reached out and was like, "Would Hoda do something because she can't sleep and she's so worried and this," and she's been totally transformed.
She has been,
and so
I feel like anyway, like we hear from so many people who say, you know, I have a special needs son, and I feel like, you know, I'm not sure if I can make it through, and can we help? And I think that's all it is at the end of the day.
Has there been one transformation yet? I mean, I know you're also building a business, and I want to hear about that too. But has there been one person that's touched you in a way where you're like, wow?
There was a teacher who was at the retreat who was kind of a spitfire, but also you could tell that she was at the end of her rope. And I'm just imagining her right now, but in speaking to her and watching her, I felt like I was watching like a wilted flower just come to life. And I can only imagine all the things that were going wrong in her life, because they often will say, I have this, I have a husband who needs, I have this who needs. And there was something about, we had a singer named Kelsey Watts who sang, and she's from the Broadway musical Six, and she sang Rise Up by Andra Day. And I was watching her as she was singing, and I thought to myself, this is it. Like, we're all just here, as they say, like, to help each other home. So let's help. Like, let's help. And that's kind of what I'm in the business of.
It's like, of course you are. Right where you're supposed to be. You've written a new book, which is kind of ironic because it's talking about jumping, and you're a terrible jumper.
Oh my God. Okay, you're the only person who would say that based on one.
Anybody that watched our show would say that too. So unfortunately,
it was
I'm not
one
the only.
trampoline.
I believe we did it more than once. But you liked to jump.
Remember, I was laughing during that whole thing.
Yes, you like to jump, and jumping is scary.
Jumping's terrifying, and I think too, like, there are a million thoughts I have on jumping, because sometimes you feel like there's nothing you can do but do that, but jump. Sometimes jumping is like somebody pushing you, basically.
Yeah.
It's time. Or falling.
Yeah.
But I have to say, when I was thinking about jumping from the Today Show, and I was scared because obviously it's like leaving the thing you know, I was talking to Maria Shriver.
And Love, and all of us were like, no.
That's not happening.
My first response was like, no. So, I mean, people were trying to convince you not to do what you knew was right.
Yeah.
Many people, including me.
You were my favorite, though.
I felt bad about it.
I was like, hey, I have to tell you something. You're like, the answer's no. No. But so Maria said to me, when I said, can I do it? Maybe the million reasons it makes sense not to. And she said, let me tell you about your history of jumping. You ready? And I go, tell me. She goes, you jumped from job to job when you were out of college, from city to city. You jumped into relationships and out of them. You jumped into motherhood. You jumped into breast cancer and out. She goes, you have a history of jumping. Don't tell me you can't jump. So for any of us, we've all been through it. And I think there are different ways of doing it. Sarah Jakes, who's T.D. Jakes' daughter, her whole thing is, when you jump, she said, don't just fling yourself like an idiot off a cliff and go, let me hope it works. She's like, no. She goes, you have to imagine yourself on the other side. She goes, if you're in a horrible relationship, you picture yourself holding the hand of a man who respects you. You picture what his eyes look like looking in your eyes. You hold his hand and feel what the weight of that feels like. You have to know what's on the other side and the feelings. Get the feelings inside. What does that feel like? And it's the same for jumping out of a job or into one. It's like, what does it feel like resting. That's what I was thinking about when I left today. Resting. What does resting feel like? That's one thing. What does it feel like to try something brand new? So you literally, because your body can feel the feelings of the thing that's coming. So when I was thinking about a book, that one hit me because that's life, man.
Yeah.
Little or big ones, we're all doing it.
Yeah. And this is a bunch of different contributors too, writing about
their... Oh, God, Anne Lamott. You know how we love Annie Lamott?
Yes, I love Anne Lamott.
Anne Lamott, by the way, first of all, she's a saint.
Yes.
Secondly, when Hopi was sick, I still remember she called me and said, I'm sending you something in the mail. I don't know her very well. And she said, and it was a thing that said, God's got this, which I lost.
I know. I know this story because then Annie Lamott was on the show and she's like, remember?
Where
then
is
you
it?
remembered.
Yeah, I remembered.
That you lost
but,
it.
Yes. One day it'll
come back. You didn't lose it forever. And God still has it. You don't need a pendant to prove that, right?
But her story, which I love.
know you lost it.
I lost it. I feel terrible. I just confessed again.
I know.
But Annie Lamott in this book, one of the things she did was she jumped into a relationship. She was in her late 60s or 70s. She jumped into meeting Neil at this age, and she just said, I loved one of her things was, look, she says, when I'm finding a man, I just decided if he were a woman, would I want to hang out with him? And the answer was yes. So then I decided I was going to marry him. So she is that person. But the book is full of like Sheryl Crow's, all these different people who've made leaps and jumps. And look, it's scary no matter when you do it or where you do it. But I feel like once you see, oh, that's what the path looks like, I think you just need somebody. It's like how I felt when I was adopting kids and I saw Sandra Bullock. I'm like, oh, she did that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
like it
not
gave
terrifying.
You permission.
Yes. To realize someone my age, her age, our age, could adopt a child, could be a mother on her own, could do all these different things. And she did that. So I think what the book has is like, if you're thinking about it or scared of it or wondering, can I, you just have to,
and it's
find
not,
someone.
It's about just sort of like those pivots, it's not just about, oh God, I have a big transformation.
No.
Because most of the transformations, even the most profound, are tiny.
Tiny.
It's a change in one tiny thing.
Right. 1 degree.
It.
Yeah, that's it. It's like a 1 degree shift. I mean, in the book, there's stuff about my parents making a change in life and things that they did. And I often think about like what we think might be big changes aren't really that big after all, when you think about it. I mean, my parents left Egypt after they got married and came to the United States and were like a fish out of water. They wrote an article about my parents when they were at Oklahoma University. The Kotbs got a TV, and there's my mom and dad like waving. I'm like, wait, they just, it was almost, they came from the land of the camels, and here they are. And I was thinking about what that must have been like for them to make that kind of a leap. For me to leap from town to town or job to job just seemed kind of small,
in
knowing
comparison.
that we came from, oh, wait, you came across the ocean. All your families were there. You started something on your own. You built it. My dad went through, all the things that immigrant families go. My parents both did what immigrant families go through, and found himself the president of a company that he founded. Like, he did all that.
Yes.
Like,
do you feel like, I mean, earlier you said something about achieve, accomplish, produce, like, I mean, both of us have type A personalities. Have you dug into why you think achievement was so important to you?
Yes. So I think for me, I was the middle daughter. And when you're the middle daughter, you are kind of the one who gets overlooked, I think. My sister was the firstborn and my brother was the baby, and I was the one, she's fine, kind of like all of the middle kids. And I think, to get my father's attention or eyes wasn't easy for me. I didn't know how to do it. I actually had no idea how to do it. In fact, I remember very few conversations we had because I didn't really know what to say.
Yeah.
I remember one time driving to work. I was an intern at the Library of Congress, and my mom and dad would always drive together. with me because I was the intern, and my mom worked at the Library of Congress. My dad worked at the Department of Energy. And one time my mom was sick, and I went with my dad, and I was afraid I wouldn't know what to talk about. Because if it wasn't like, doing something, I didn't have anything to say. So I think I thought accomplishment was a way to get an attagirl. Like, you did it. You scored the points on the basketball team. You made the whatever. You did that. And so for anyone, mainly for a daughter who loses her father early, you feel a sense of like, how am I going to get that attagirl? Where's that coming from? Is it ever coming? And so I think what I did was I just kept pushing and trying and getting to the next thing and the next thing. And is it enough? And is it enough? And I don't know if I consciously did it or just did it. And I've often wondered if my dad lived, would I have even been here at 30 Rock? Probably not. I probably would have thought, you're good enough.
Yeah.
You don't need to keep pushing. However, it ended up being a blessing. I mean, the fact that I was, I think, subconsciously trying, and sometimes I think, the dads of that era were kind of, they went to work and said, good kid. And, like all the dads.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I often wonder, like, sometimes you feel as like a kid in your dad's eyes, you weren't always seen. And then, so you pick a profession like this one where everybody sees you. Like, why would I choose this profession? Like, it seems so not like me to do that, but it all kind of made sense. So I think the achieving part became clear.
Yeah.
And especially now when I have time to kind of reflect and sit with everything and I go, okay, so would I change the ride? Not 1 second of it. But it sure is nice to be able to be in a place in my life where I feel very like calm and very, like running a business is hard.
Yeah.
Putting a book out is hard, but I also feel weirdly calm. Like I don't feel the pressure of
I mean, it's really interesting because you write and you've talked about how even though the 50s were amazing for you, there were moments where something felt not aligned off or.
Yeah. Yes.
Is that because, do you think there was a constant like you were just moving too fast?
Yes. I think my 50s was spent, when you get your children and your job and our connection and all these things all happen all at once.
Which are beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like you can't, like what's better than, this is like the perfect moment. But you still find yourself sprinting because to do all those things that you waited for so long and do them well, you have to sprint from one to the other. You can't just, it's like you don't work for something or pray for something and then it gets there and you go, oh, phew, thank God that, I got that. Now it's like, no, now it all starts.
Yes.
So you're doing the most important parts of your life all at once. And I've often thought about like being an older mom. And it was funny. I was just reading something and, a lot of moms start at 20, 25, 30, even 35 when you don't know anything about who you are. You're imparting your parents' values on your kids. And, you're just doing what we all do. And, I sometimes when people would say, oh, you're an older mom, I'd kind of get an ouch, even though it's true. I'll be 61 with a third grader and a first grader anyway. But I am kind of sitting in the fact that I come with wisdom now.
Yes.
And although I still lose it often, I think I lose it less than I would have in my 30s. But I do feel like they're getting more from me that you wouldn't normally get from a parent who is in their 30s, who hasn't lived a life to know, like, I was telling my kids, thoughts become things. They go, what? I go, thoughts become things. What you think will be. Thoughts become things. You think you're going to fall off your bike? Watch. You think you're going to stand up? Watch. So I'm trying to like show them little bits and pieces, things that I would have never thought of or even said in my 30s or even my 40s maybe.
No. Yeah, I mean, you've evolved.
I have evolved.
You've evolved. Okay, so what brings you
Yeah.
joy now?
Conversations and a deep knowing of my kids. That brings me the most. Knowing them. I don't think I knew them that well
Before.
yeah, but now, because I sit with them and see them and listen to them and soak in all the stuff that they're telling me. It's like I feel like that brings me incredible joy. Learning who I am, like
Outside of all of this.
outside of work and labels and mom and anchor and this and that, all those things. That's been a real, that's still a road I'm on, but I'm really that like discovering that and being cool with it, and like that brings me joy. Going out past 8 brings me joy.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I've gone out a few times. I don't want to brag, but now
Now, when you say past 8, does that mean 8:15? Are we talking 8:30?
Okay, the latest I've been out is 9:30, but I'm
That's
also
pretty
waking
good.
up now at like 6. I was
Wait, what?
I know. Well, now because the school year, I'll go earlier again. But in the summer,
You
I
were
was
sleeping
sleeping
till
in
6
Yeah, I
a.m.?
slept into 6. I was like, I literally woke up and thought, oh my God. But that changed.
Well, because also we do need rest.
We need rest.
We do need
We're
sleep. I'm so
tired.
proud of you, but now you're going to go back to 4:30?
Yeah, I am, because my kids get up early and I want to do stuff before. But I do think that there is like a whole other part. And also, can I just say, like, basic little things, going on walks, riding my bike, sitting with talking to my sister. My sister's in my business,
Yes.
my best friend. I mean, that brings me joy,
Yes.
being with my people, doing my business, like
Yes.
we're all together. And I think there's just and you know what else? I think it's like everything's slowing down. And, people like the summer flu, it didn't really fly for me. I was like, I didn't blink and it was over, because I was
were
in
in
it.
it.
I was in the middle of summer.
And I feel like, because we have similar personalities, like that's hard.
Yeah.
Our brains move fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
yeah.
like to
Yeah,
get
I
stuff
like to get
done.
stuff
You like to
done.
be I was like, should I come before the show's over? Because Hoda's going to be ready 45 minutes early. But you actually weren't.
I wasn't. I was and I was just chit-chatting.
Yeah.
And I just talked to Cheryl Lee Ralph, who's one of those people who is joy personified. And when I was listening to her, I was thinking about things I wanted to tell my kids, because that's what it's all about. She said a long, long time ago, Robert De Niro said, "You're such a talented actress. Too bad there are no roles for black women." Do you know what she said after that? She goes, "Do you know what he said to me, Hoda? You're a talented actress." That's what he said. That's what she took. Some people would have taken the back end of that. Too bad. Too bad. She said, Robert De Niro told me I was a talented actress. That's why she's 67 years old or whatever she is, won an Emmy a couple years ago, nominated again, got her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That's why. That's what joy is. That's what it is. It's seeing that.
It's
like
choosing to see
choosing.
that. But you know what else? And I'm so proud of you for it, is that as you talk about this shift, you're not glamorizing it.
No.
You're being honest.
Yes.
And you can be honest.
Yes. Yes.
And you can be joyful.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You can be, and in fact,
Yes.
it's almost hard to be
Yes.
joyful without being
Yes.
honest.
Being honest about something hurting.
Yes.
Being honest about feeling a longing.
Yes.
And at the same time,
Yes.
being excited about, like, sitting with Hope, having that little conversation the other day. Both things are incredibly true at the exact same time. And, it also reminded me, how they always say kids are so adaptable? I think grown-ups are adaptable. I feel like, here's an example. Dylan Dreyer lives next door to me in the summer.
Yeah.
At 9:30, because her boys were not at our house yet, I called her and I go, "Where are your boys?" She goes, "I'm on the air." I go, "What?" Like, how quickly your brain goes into the other place where you are. We're adaptable too. We can change and evolve and be amazing. So I feel like I miss like 30 Rock. I miss you.
Yeah.
I miss Savannah. I miss the hangs. I miss the conversations. I miss the music. I miss all those things. And I get all of Hope.
Yes.
I get all of Haley. I get to get on the Amtrak and go see my mom. I get to go to my office in our little town and create a business.
Build something.
I get to talk to really interesting people. I get to understand how hard building a business is. I get to learn all that stuff. So
what are you like as an entrepreneur? What are you like as a boss?
Before I was just cheerleadery. That was my thing. I was like, we got it. We got it. You're doing it. You're the best. Blah, blah, blah. And now I've realized, like...
When? Before you started this? Or even at the beginning?
Even at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I wanted everything
because
to be right.
Because that is also your personality in some ways.
Yes. I want to be on the sunny side. However, I've learned how to have direct conversations with people, which is super painful and hard. And I hate it. I've had to have conversations with people on my team about things that are not going right. I have had to do like all these things that are outside of my comfort zone.
Well, and you're in it. You're in it, and you're doing every.
I'm in all of the things.
You're in all the meetings.
I have 5 meetings a week just for our company. We break them all down into leadership and group and this group and that group and all this stuff. And I have to realize too is I was always somebody who took like, oh, you think that and you think that. Let me think about those two things. I listen, but at the end of the day, I literally sit quietly and ask myself, like I take 20 minutes and sit with nothing before I make a big decision, because somewhere the decision comes out the right way. Instead of, oh, they know more. They've been doing startups. They've been doing this forever. They've been doing X and Y. No.
Because you're trying to lead.
Trust your own self.
Yes.
And also, I think leadership, like I was telling them the story. I said, the way we lead is about like people, people have to feel some stickiness with you. So I said, there's this great story I heard about this kid who left his stuffed giraffe at some hotel, and his parents were at the airport. He goes, "Oh crap, where's the giraffe? Where's Joey?" And the kids crying, and they call the hotel, and they're like, "Oh God, did you find Joey?" They're like, "Yeah, he's in the room, but we can't make it there in time to drop it." So they said, "Just tell your son that Joey's going to spend an extra couple days here at the hotel."
Yeah.
So what they did was they took Joey and they put Joey in the spa with like cucumbers, and they put him at the golf course. Took a million pictures and sent a little photo album with Joey's adventures, along with Joey. So the kid got home. That family never went anywhere again except for to that resort. Why? Because they showed them real love, not because they were going to get something. They just did it because they were kind. I said, let's just do things because it's right. Yeah. Let's help people because it's right. Don't help them because it might help our subscription. Don't do this because of that. Just do things because it's the right thing to do, and goodness will follow.
Yes.
So I'm kind of leading from the front of the boat. I used to lead from the back, going, everybody good? Good. You guys got? Now I kind of lead from the front. And my sister even said to me on Zoom, "Is that you? Oh my God, you really went for it." You were like, because I feel like it's mine and I'm in charge and I'm into it and I want it to succeed.
You want it,
I want it to do well because I feel like people need it. So I said, we're going to be on fire. Like it's going to end up, it's going to be amazing.
Well, it already is.
It already is.
It already is. Now, my last question, since we haven't talked about a hack, any hacks for finding joy? I mean, one of the things that I just have to say after listening to you talk is that we're all overconsumed by our phones. If you want space the way that you found it, you have to put your phone away.
Have to.
Every time you've said, like, in order to make a good decision, I sit and I'm quiet.
Sit quiet. Yeah.
In order to do whatever, like your morning routine isn't scrolling news topics.
No.
Like, why? How have you found the space?
That, by the way, that's the whole thing.
I know.
What you just said is the entire thing. Because if you have that, it's like a pacifier that you're sucking on. That's what it is. Whenever you're bored, you're sucking on it. Whenever you're sitting on the camera, you're sucking on it. Whenever you're doing X, that's what everybody's doing. And for me to have any kind of peace or quiet or thoughts, or to get away from all the noise with everybody yelling, I have to put it, I put it 1,000% away.
Because we're all addicted. So even if it's close to you, you might pick it up. Just
even this. Bzz. What if you heard that? Bzz, it would take you right out of where you are.
Yes.
All the things. That has been one of the main things to get it out. Joy hacks. No phone is definitely one. And the other one, I think for me is I keep repeating this phrase, and it's helped me. And the phrase is, good things keep happening to me. On your worst day, good things keep happening to me. Because everything went wrong one day, and I was driving to the gym, and I was almost in tears. I was like, oh, God, no one slept. Everyone's bad. And I go, good things keep happening to me. I'm on my way to the gym. Good things keep happening to me. There's a parking space there.
Yeah.
Good things keep happening to me. Brian's able to do my session right now. Good. I did it all day. And then all of a sudden, it's almost like you're repeating something that becomes a reality, because it is that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I came home. I didn't feel all cranky.
Yes.
I had lost that piece.
Yeah.
But I try to repeat that, and I find it like extremely helpful.
Do you do it with the kids? Or not yet?
No.
Sorry. You do plenty with
good
them.
things are always happening.
You do plenty with them.
No.
You do plenty.
No, they don't get that one. They just keep repeating my thoughts become things. That's their favorite one for right now. Thoughts become things. I love you.
I love you so much.
I love you.
And I miss you. I can't
miss
even
you, and
tell you how much I miss you.
And I'm super proud of you, too.
Well, I'm super proud of you.
Oh.
Look at what you've done. Look at all you've done.
Look at us.
Look at us.
I love you.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC, or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.